Hello, good morning. Thank you. Thank you for joining me here at the O'Rourke Report. Let me start out by saying I always forget until the end, but I'm going to say it at the beginning this time. If you want to be notified every time we do new content here on the O'Rourke Report, please hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. Think. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Both of them will guarantee that you will never miss another episode of the scintillating O'Rourke Report. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, let's jump right into it. Let's see, Potomac, we were episode 2 of the reunion, was kind of a nothing burger. The last, except for the cliffhanger at the very end, which I'll get to. But last we saw, Mia had stormed off the stage in a flood of tears, rightfully so, because the women just were not buying the facade that she's been putting up, and she's put up the entire season. She puts up this facade of I don't know, elegant with it lady, and she's anything but. Poor thing. Um, and she claims that she's in her final weeks of her divorce, and this is why she's so tender, so very tender. And of course, nobody's buying that. Other thing we find out is the creepy Ashley Darby is no longer hot and heavy with her dial-a-date guy. As she puts it, they no longer define it, which means they're friends with benefits, which apparently she's got a boatload of friends. So she continues, gathering more friends, I guess. We also find out that Stacy and that guy TJ, who you remember they were celibate, they were not going to have sex before married, and we find out things about TJ. Unless the camera catches TJ a couple of times during the course of the season, not being apparently not being the stand-up, hey, happy guy, all smiles that he puts up for the camera. He's got a pretty sharp tongue, caught him a couple of times. Apparently that facade is over with, but more to come on that. At one point, now this is Potomac. This is where nobody has style. Nobody has, um, at least for me. Let me just put it that way. It could be me. It probably is me. But I don't think anybody's on that show has had any sort of style and somewhere where you go, oh, God, that's a great outfit. Nobody has that. And they're all picking on Stacy, who's the only one who possibly could pull a rabbit out of her hat when it comes to Stacy, because she doesn't do the over the top, the massive extensions and wigs and jewelry and sparkles and everything else they wear. They were all ridiculing her style, which was pretty funny. Pretty funny. At one point, and it could have been my camera, could have been my TV that I was watching it on, it appeared that Wendy had orange palms, like she had been putting self tanner on herself. I thought that was a little strange. Wendy has orange palms. She says, "Me gonna are." She out and out accuses Mia at one point of saying that Mia, Gordon, and Ink, Gordon, the husband, Ink is the paramour, the boyfriend, are all in on some sort of triangle scam. It sounds like Wendy is accusing Mia of having fabricated this whole triangle drama to give herself a storyline this year. Could be. In other words, self-producing. And if there's one thing they all hate is when they catch the other one self-producing or are producing dramas, thereby giving themselves more screen time. And Giselle backs it up, and Mia walks out again. Cliffhanger is the credits are rolling. We see the men in the back who gather in the back and they watch the proceedings before they come out on stage. Everybody's there except for TJ. And Eddie calls TJ, and Eddie says something to TJ. You don't hear what he says, but all the men go. He then texts Wendy, who's on set. They're about to settle back in. And apparently Wendy's face goes crazy. So we have to wait till next week to find out what that text is about. It's something that TJ said. So something else is exposed. And God love them. At least they're giving me a reason to watch Potomac to find out what TJ said. Right before I came on today, the news came across Karen Huger, 1 year in jail. 1 year in jail. This is her fourth DUI, DWI, whatever they call it. She was convicted on 7 of 8 counts, and she is going to do some time. She actually put in her statement to the court that she has the very important job of being an example for other women by starring on the Real Housewives of Potomac. So it looks like her the jig is up, Karen. As been said before in Potomac, clink clink, or was that Jersey? Whatever. Oh yeah, that was Kim G in Jersey, clink clink. Well, it applies down to Karen. So she'll get out with on good behavior, but and she'll come out. Oh, look what Martha did. I mean, Martha was fantastic. She did her time. She came out. She's never hidden from her time. And she just took those lemons and she made a fantastic jug of lemonade. God love her. Let's hope Karen's able to do the same thing. But she's just got to get over herself first before she can do that. And hopefully she will. Maybe this will be the making of her. Who knows? Okay, Married to Medicine. This is the aftermath of the fight on the sandbar, where I was upset that one of my favorite shows that these doctors have always been a cut above. They're just a cut above. They're aspirational. You look up to them. They're problem solving, everything about it. The fact that last week's episode really went down into the gutter, I attributed to cast members that really don't have any business being on the show. And unfortunately, and I love you, Quad, Miss Quad, it was you and her boyfriend had less right to be there than does Dr. G, who's the doctor married to Madison, and his new wife, Sweet Tea. Quad, you got drunk. You picked at old wounds with Dr. G. You knew exactly how to activate him. And it spilled over into the next day to this, your boyfriend charging this guy who's a foot shorter than him, probably 50 pounds lighter than him. And it could have been a mess. Thank God cooler heads prevailed. And this is what I saw this week. I saw the the reason I like this show, and it was the cooler, mature heads who put the kibosh on this behavior. Not only put the kibosh on it, but then made everybody kind of sit down separate. Dr. Simone took Quad and the boyfriend in one room. Jackie took, I think it was Jackie who took Dr. G and Sweet Tea in another room. Cecil, who is Dr. Simone's husband, and the new guy who's married to a psychiatrist. Evidently, he's a professional football player. Seems to be a real straight arrow, a real, church-going guy. They just pulled the warring parties apart, and they talked to him, and they said in the most diplomatic terms you could possibly imagine, this behavior is not ever called for anywhere. And to the point that, it was Dr. Jackie who talked to Phaedra, because not only did we have the Dr. G and Quad fight, but we had the Phaedra fight with her ex-husband Apollo, who was there with his new wife. And Phaedra self-produced this drama on Married to Medicine, and thereby, the cast was really kind of annoyed with her. Phaedra purposely brought somebody on this couple's trip who she was very well aware was a very good friend of Apollo. She also had been told on the side by Heavenly, I believe, that Apollo was invited on the trip, so she knew this was going to cause drama. Indeed, it did. And so Jackie is the one that has to talk to Phaedra. And Phaedra knows how to talk as well. Phaedra's a professional. She's an attorney. Jackie is an esteemed physician. And they had a conversation, and Phaedra decided it would be best if she left. And then she pulls something that just makes me fear for Phaedra. And every yeah, what do I have here? It takes Phaedra, honest reaction. Yeah. Phaedra is miffed. No one came to her aid, and Jackie agrees that nobody came to her aid because the cast members believe that Phaedra put this drama into place, made this drama happen. So yeah, these are mature people. They did not come to your aid. They did not join in to the drama. They just stood by and pulled them aside and having these conversations. So Phaedra says she's decided she's going to leave. She has a PJ. She has a private jet standing by. And we also find out the private jet, this is the next day after the sandbar incident. The next day, when they're having these conversations, we find out she's had that private jet waiting for her on the tarmac since the night before. I am so afraid that Phaedra is going through her money like Nene Leaks did. I don't know that Nene hasn't gone through all her money. But Phaedra is parading it around as though she is Taylor Swift money. Phaedra, you're smarter than that. Please, I know it's a front, but putting on that act of having a private jet waiting for you on the tarmac, tens of thousands of dollars. To go from Key West to Atlanta, Georgia. I mean, what is that, a 20-minute flight? A car ride, 6 or 7 hours? Phaedra, I'm worried about you. That really kind of made me worry. Okay, the men try to do their healing sessions, giving the message to King, who is Quad's boyfriend, that this is unacceptable behavior. We don't act like that here. We resolve issues when we have issues, and we expect you to do the same thing. So in other words, this whole episode was restored my faith in Married to Medicine. I should not have doubted the wisdom of Dr. Jackie, Dr. Simone, Cecil, Curtis, Dr. Eugene, all of them. The only one I fear for a little bit is Dr. Damon, because he's married to Heavenly. And Heavenly is the female that cannot be controlled, especially if you put a couple of drops of alcohol in her. She will pick a fight. And the key is not to rise to the bait with Heavenly. So, thank you, Married to Medicine. You have restored my faith. And you're the reason. There's a reason you're one of my favorites. Okay, let's go on to... Oh, I want to look this up before I go on any further. Hold on a second. Okay, I got the information. All right, Beverly Hills. We have approaching to be one of my favorites. I can't even believe I'm saying those words. We see Erica Jane and her mother. I guess a kind of to compare to how last week's or the last two episodes were with the bad relationship between Sutton and her mother. So we see another of the housewives with their mother. And the relationship when we first saw it, which was when Erica first came on the show, was a very frosty relationship. But then again, Erica was very frosty. She imagined she was this grande dame with all this money. Tom Girardi was her husband, an out-of-my-way peasant. Looks like their relationship is a lot better relationship because Erica appears to be a lot better person. So good, glad to see it. We see a little bit more of Jennifer Tilly. And wow, what a waste of money. This woman wastes money like a sieve. She's also very pretentious at one point, and this is the part I had to look up because I couldn't, I was pretty sure this person was a heroin overdose, and she was. At one point, she was talking about having style, something to look up to. And she refers to Talitha Getty. And I said, yeah, isn't she the one from like 1969, lived in Marrakesh and all this stuff? And she and the husband were like wastrels and they died of heroin overdoses. And yes, they were, but they were the it couple in 1969. If you weren't a Beatle, you wanted to be running in the crowd of Talitha Getty and these people with tremendous amount of money, no ambition, no ability to do anything except do drugs and be fabulous. So these are the type of people Jennifer looks up to. At least the names Jennifer Tilly drops to show how European insider she is. Talitha Getty. So anyway, and again we are treated to her showing us pictures with her and the Dolce and Gabbana guys. Remember when we first met Sutton? She wanted to, and I think she was showing this to Lisa Renna, the tiaras the Dolce and Gabbana guys gave her as one of their big patrons. So apparently the Dolce and Gabbana really know how to suck up to people because, of course, they're the ones who sucked up to the Kardashians. They threw Kourtney's wedding, and of course her nose was out of joint when they asked the sister Kim to be an ambassador for them. So I guess Dolce and Gabbana really know how to suck up to the rich patrons. Keep that in mind if you ever get rich. Run right out to Dolce and Gabbana. Okay. Okay, Sutton, here I wrote this. Sutton needs to accept that she, Sutton, is the reason the viewer and consumers of social media think she has a drinking problem. She keeps trying to blame Dorit for perpetuating that rumor. Sutton, your behavior is, is what has created that perception. Your behavior. Nobody else did it. You did it. Do we think Sutton's going to be able to accept that? No, not in a million years. Kyle's got a life coach for a problem. You know, we listen to her run off or go down. The life coach shows up in her living room. They sit down and they talk, and evidently she's got the house to herself and she's a little lonely about it. The kids are all off doing something. Maurice is off with one of the girls in Europe. Another one's doing this, that, and the other thing. And she's whining about it. Kyle's whining about it. Kyle, you're the one who wanted the separation. Mauricio did everything in his power to change your mind. Apparently, let's say, and I think this is probably what happened, Mauricio was doing something on the side. She caught him cheating. She caught him lying about something. She got her heart broken because, God, you know, if you don't think your husband's doing that and then you find out that he's really doing it, the heartbreak is massive, especially if you're not too steady on your own pins, which, you know, it's debatable whether Kyle is or not. But Kyle, put an end to this. Try to square things away with Mauricio and get that family back together, for God's sakes. And of course, oh, wait a minute. Hold on one second. I did want to make this adjustment. And apparently this is a thing with Boz, because these were Boz's earrings. Boz, why are you wearing these things? And then she had like two animal print something hanging from her. I guess large earrings are her thing. So I bet you we don't see him next year. I bet you she's going to see herself on camera and she's going to say, "Holy moly, what's going on here?" Dorit. The only thing I want to say about Dorit is without makeup, you can see, without makeup makes you appreciate how good she is in applying her glam, or whoever does her glam, because she's a very plain Jane. Now, it's just not ugly, but she's certainly not pretty. With the makeup, she's striking. So unlike somebody like I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, Madison from Southern Charm, her without makeup, she's just a stunningly beautiful girl. I mean, makeup, no makeup, you really see that she's a beauty. Dorit's not a beauty. Dorit knows how to enhance what she does have to make it appear that she's a beautiful, beautiful girl. And of course, we end this episode with Sutton just being incredibly vulgar to Dorit. They're having another one of their innumerable arguments. Dorit is not backing down whatsoever. She's giving it right back to her. And Dorit and Sutton actually tells, prior to this argument, Sutton tells the camera that Dorit is going after her because she's jealous of her money. No, that's not why Dorit's going after you. Dorit's going after everybody who criticizes her in any way. There's absolutely nothing to do with her money. But Sutton, in the middle of the argument with Dorit, tells her that, in essence, she tells her to pipe down because my wallet is much bigger than your wallet. What does that have to do with anything? Oh my God, it was just unbelievable. So that was it for Beverly Hills. I mean, it was a great episode. You guys got a chance, watch it. Two little small little odds and ends. Thomas Ravenel apparently is running for office again down there in Charleston. I don't know if it's state office or what. Is he running for governor? I forget what it is. But we'll see what happens. And on Watch What Happens Live, you know how Andy takes questions from the audience? Who is at Watch What Happens Live? Oh, was it Jennifer Tilly? Yeah, it was Jennifer Tilly and somebody, Morris Chestnut, I believe his name is. So anyway, Andy takes a question from the audience. He gets two gay guys who are absolutely fabulous, and one of them says to Andy, "And you're like gay Jesus." Oh my God, it was so funny. I cannot think of Andy as anything other than gay Jesus from now on. So anyway, thank you for tuning in. Our next installment, we will be going down to Low Country. See, which these couple of episodes includes the Bahamas, and we'll see what's going on there. But for this week, we're all caught up. Thank you so much. Oh, we also have a summer house. I always like to look at summer house. So anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. If you like what you see and you want to be notified every time we do a new installment, hit the subscribe button and like button, and that'll help me out a lot. So thank you so much, and I'll see you soon here on the O'Rourke Report.